I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Marv V, and you are listening to another episode of the Man Listen Show. Before we get started, let's hear a few words from our sponsors.
DD's Daiquiris is your #1 supplier of premium daiquiri mixes. You will love the taste of our classic margarita and signature strawberry mixes. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at DD's Daiquiris. DD is spelled DEEDEE. You can also find us at www.dd'sdaiquiris.com. DD's Daiquiris, giving good vibes to good people, one good drink at a time.
Please buy the new book by Erika Nicole Moore, Diabolical Tales of Woe. Diabolical Tales of Woe is a thrilling collection of short horror stories that leave you in an excited trepidation to see what will happen next. Prepare to face one horrific encounter after the next in this captivating novel. You can find this book on Amazon in the Kindle and paperback version. That is Diabolical Tales of Woe by Erika Nicole Moore. Are you looking for a virtual assistant who can help you with your scheduling, travel, research, and expenses? Demi Virtual Solutions is the answer for you. Demi Virtual Solutions also provides mobile notary services. They will travel to take care of your needs. So if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and need a virtual assistant or are looking for mobile notary services, contact them at 469-522-9005, and you can find them on their website at demivirtualsolutions.com. That's DEMI virtualsolutions.com.
More Grace Counseling and Mediation Services offers individual and relationship counseling as well as mediation services to the community. At More Grace, healthy partnerships are valuable and beneficial. Please visit the website www.moregracecounseling.com for more information about our approach to counseling. More Grace Counseling and Mediation Services, where we offer more grace and more healing.
Are you in the state of Texas and looking for a knowledgeable loan advisor that will walk you through the process from application to closing? Well, then you need to contact Joe Byers at Trinity Oaks Mortgage. Trinity Oaks Mortgage offers FHA, VA, and conventional loans. They also have a first-time homebuyers program available. There is also down payment assistance available as well. Make sure you contact Joe Byers at Trinity Oaks Mortgage. You can reach Joe at 972-512-8990. Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. Please follow the show on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and let everybody know about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Marv B. Let's go ahead and bring in the crew. So on today's episode, we're going to talk about something that's been in the news a lot here lately. I think it's an important topic because we often talk about closing the wealth gap between Black Americans and white Americans, and cryptocurrency is one of those avenues that many people believe can make that happen. So to talk about that topic, we got my homeboy DJ Mad Money Max. Max, what's up with you, man?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So let's, a lot been in the news about cryptocurrency, man. I started hearing about it maybe about 10 years or so ago. A lot of my homeboys tried to get me to get in on it, and I just didn't see it. And I'm kicking myself in the very end for not listening to that advice back then. But it's been in the news a lot here lately. The boy Elon Musk from Tesla he's been making a lot of noise about it with is it called Dodge, or how do you spell that? Is it Dodgy coin or whatever?
Your guess is as good as mine. Dogecoin. You know,
Doge.
some people call it Doge,
Yeah.
Dog, Dodge, what have you.
So he made a lot of noise about that. He went on SNL this last Saturday, and people were expecting him to talk it up and to make it blow up, but actually he clowned it, so it caused a downturn in it. And he also released a statement that Tesla would not be taking Bitcoin to purchase vehicles because of the impact on the environment that people cause when they are actually mining Bitcoins. So there's a lot of people out here, man, that want to get into cryptocurrency and they don't really understand it. And I've always been taught, don't invest in something that you don't understand. So we're not trying to give financial advice on this show, but like we said, it is something that could possibly build wealth for Black Americans. So we wanted to just talk about it. So Max, break it down for like a third grader. What is cryptocurrency, and why do you think it's important for the Black community?
All right. Basically, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin or blockchain in a nutshell is a public ledger. It's a public ledger that keeps its users' information private. So basically, let's say you remember when you were in elementary school and everybody did that chain letter. You know, everybody said, okay, the color is red. The first person said the color is red. The second person, down the line, down the line. Now, you remember you had somebody smart and said the color was blue. So by the time it got to the end of the change, the whole thing changed up. Bitcoin works somewhat in the same fashion, to where you have to have consensus amongst the miners. You have to have consensus amongst the miners to validate a block. And so if me and you make a transaction, and let's say that I see we got what, Arika, that's how I'm pronouncing that, right? Arika and Mr. Lavender. Okay, me and you, we're making a transaction, and Mrs. Moore and Mr. Lavender, they're the miners. So they got to validate the transaction. I'm saying the transaction is one. Mrs. Moore had to say one, Mr. Lavender has to say one, and you have to agree that the transaction is one. And we all have to agree that the transaction is one for that block to be validated. So I don't know if that helps out in terms of the explanation of what the blockchain is.
I got Rika shaking her head. So how does that lead into value? How does that lead into replacing like fiat currency, like normal currency? How does that translate into making money and wealth? How does it work?
Well, basically, it's a trustless system. You can send money anywhere within minutes. Um, if you use traditional dollars, let's say if I want to send traditional dollars to Zimbabwe, I got to use the SWIFT system. SWIFT, it will take 10 days for that whole transaction to be validated. Within Bitcoin, the longest it will take will be 10 minutes, because that's how long it will take for a block to be created. Um, so the benefit is that you can send money anywhere in the world with nobody in your business, nobody telling you what to do with the money, nobody saying that you can send this money here or not, or closing your bank down because of such and such and such and such. So that's the value in it, versus having a bank charging you fees, making you fill out all this information, giving up your social security information to potentially be hacked. So,
Okay. So
yeah.
why do
So,
you think? Go ahead, Rika. Go ahead. Jump in.
so this kind of avoids the reporting requirements for sending a certain amount of money over like international borders and whatnot.
Yes, because to be honest with you, Bitcoin was born out of the dope game. Bitcoin was born so people can make transactions to avoid government sanction, to avoid detection. Um, some of your first transactions are between Chicago and Miami, and also Miami and London, where a lot of your magic seeds, I'm not going to get into too much description, but your magic seeds were coming out of London. So if you use cash and things, if you wanted your things shipped UPS, they were able to track that. But this, new system to where, you had this network working and everybody's anonymous. Now nobody has to give up their information, and it ensures your product can get to its destination a little bit better.
Right. So technology stays a step advanced over the system, basically.
There you
Okay.
go. And then, like I said, it's a trustless system. You don't have underwriters at the bank making decisions if you're going to get access to this or not. All you need is a CPU, a GPU, and put it on the network. Let that joker handle some transactions and stuff, and now you got some Bitcoin. No entry, no barrier to entry.
So why do you think this is important for the Black community? I hear a lot of people talking about how this is a way for Black Americans to build wealth when we've been somewhat excluded and blocked from creating wealth as a community. In your opinion, how does it help Black people, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology?
One is buy the hood. I'm not going to get, too in depth with it and things like that, but this is buy the hood. Like I said, Bitcoin was born through the dope game. And basically, if you look at the tenets of it, there's no system of real credit. You mess around, come up late with somebody's money, you know what I'm saying? That situation is usually dealt with in a life and death situation. So you make sure all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted. You make sure you have every dime of that money. So, Bitcoin is based on those same principles. Everybody better make sure that those numbers are correct, or nobody gets any money. Nobody gets any validation or credit. But if everybody is working for the common good of the network, and plus it's open source, right now there's a premium on privacy. I know I'm jumping around, but there's a premium on privacy and there's a premium on freedom. So that's one aspect.
Got you. So, we heard about cryptocurrency a long time ago. We had heard about Bitcoin, maybe about 10 years ago. It was popping. People were talking about it. Then it went away. And then it seems like over this last few months, it's made a resurgence. Why do you think that's the case?
Well, Bitcoin is pure mathematics. You're going to have increasing difficulty when it comes to the mining operations. So also you have a fixed amount of Bitcoin. Excuse me for 1 second. You have a fixed amount of Bitcoin. You only have 21 million total Bitcoin, and we're on block 18 million right now. Compared to the US dollar, we printed $4 trillion in 2020. Inflation mandate is 2% a year. But like I said, we did 4 trillion this last year. If you look at the chart of the dollar, you'll see a continual drop in value of it. So even on a supply and demand perspective, Bitcoin, it's a win for especially for Black America, because one, is without sanction. So and it's a win for freedom-minded people or independent individuals as well, because it's open source. Also, we're in the information age. Information is worth more than gold right now. We're transitioning to the robotic age. So, Bitcoin is basically, that medium of that paradigm shift between both of those avenues, if I'm making myself clear or whatnot.
Good. Go ahead, Lab.
You said it was born out of the dope game. Actually, the movie Dope that had A$AP Rocky and Zoe Kravitz came out probably 2014, 15. That's the first time I ever heard of Bitcoin. And they were in that movie, that's what they used it for, was to make some transactions or what have you. But in addition to the crypto, does that play into these NFTs or anything like that? Is that play into crypto at all?
What break down what NFTs are, because I want to make sure our audience understands, because that's the whole point. We want people to try to understand. They're not going to be experts after this show, but at least they'll have somewhat of an idea of like where to look and the terminology. So
From my experience, I this is just what I've experienced with it, is because I've purchased a couple, because it's basically like digital. They call them digital trading cards, like around sports and things like that. NBA Top Shot, you can buy quote unquote moments from the season, and it's almost like a modern day trading card where you don't actually possess a card. It's a digital image, what they call it, non-fungible token. And so that's the only thing I know about it. I got into it because it was like people was talking about Bitcoin and NFTs. I was like, okay, it's like trading cards. I collected trading cards as a kid. I buy a pack every now and again when I can, and I don't know. We'll see where it goes from there.
To be honest, I don't have any direct connection with non-fungible tokens other than doing some research over the past couple of months on them. I'm familiar with the infrastructure like Yearn Finance, Curve, are within that space, Chainlink, and these are different companies that have tokens out there that actually facilitate some of the transaction or facilitate some of the blockchain entities within non-fungible tokens. From what I know of, Ethereum, which is a cryptocurrency, and which is also the first cryptocurrency that's known to have what is called a smart contract. And within a smart contract, you can make up attributes, or you can make up, like I said, different attributes and variables to go on to that contract, which ultimately would go on to the Ethereum blockchain. And the cool thing about blockchain is that anything that goes onto the blockchain is immutable, is uncensorable. So I can make up. It's just like a dice game. We can be playing a dice game. I'll say, okay, $2 E5, two E5. That's a smart contract. So if you hit 5 on that dice, that smart contract states that I get my $2. So now you got the non-fungible tokens. People taking pictures of themselves. You had Jim Jones took a picture of himself with the chain on. That NFT sold for $6,900. Or you got this no-name cat who made like a drum and bass record, put it out there, and it sold for $11 million. And the reason why, from what I understand and my perspective, it's not so much the token, it's the middle hustle. Like people buying them for X and selling them for Y. And just like you say, people buying a digital baseball card for $69 and selling it for $500.
Got you. Go ahead,
So
Rick.
wait, I have a question. So the part that it really doesn't make sense to me is like, are you saying there are these different companies that, you may not be familiar with the what did you say, F something T? Laugh. NFT. Okay, so but you said there are other companies who do the same thing. So does a person have to put real money into some type of system, or do you just come in and say, hey, I'd like to open up an account, I'd like to have XYZ Bitcoins, and I'd like to start trading and participating in this world? Or is there some like real dollars supporting this system? And I think that's the main question I've always had, is that I don't understand how this cyber currency translates into real currency.
That's a good question. First of all, when Bitcoin and blockchain first started, the only way that you can get your hands on it was through mining it. If you had a computer on the network, if you had a laptop or something, if you had a Raspberry Pi, which this is the brains for an ASIC. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but this is one of my first miners right here.
What's a miner?
A miner is a computer that does transactions on the network. So you remember what I was talking about before? Me and Marvin made that transaction, and then you and everybody else validates the network. That's what a miner is. Now, granted, you can use your home computer. It'll probably take you about 100 years to get a Bitcoin now, based on the difficulty. But this is a specialized computer. This is a Raspberry Pi, which 9 times out of 10 is going to be the brains for an ASIC, which is but basically it's a specialized computer that just deals with the task at hand. And the task at hand, what we're talking about, is calculating transactions. But
you broke it down, and you broke it down in the initial example. You broke it down in a very simple way, just us four. But in reality, these calculations are very, very, very complex. So you have basically supercomputers working on this. And that's the whole piece when they talked about the impact it has on the environment, because being able to power those computers, right?
well, a lot of that is gain too. If, like I said, I'm a miner myself. So I know how much power that I'm drawing, and I know that I can cut that power by solar panels.
Got you.
I know I can cut that power with V-watt wind turbines, which produce about 6,000 kilowatts if you got like a good 8 foot or 12 foot span on them. Or, and I'm not even gonna get too deep on that, but a lot of your mining operations now are cut with renewable energy because it costs too much with connecting to the grid, especially with the difficulty. But if you use renewable energy like hydropower, like if you buy a waterfall or something where you can keep your computers cool as well as use the hydropower, that's a good source, and that's where a lot of your mining activity is happening now too. So
I feel like there's and correct me if I'm wrong. We often talk about like there's a wealth gap, but I think there's also a technology gap for a lot of Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like to be in the forefront for this, you really got to have your tech game on lock. Because a lot of things you're saying, I'm kind of following you because I'm trying to get into the game, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that's listening and be like, man, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. You know what I mean? So like, how do we get people to where they're more up to speed to where they can say, okay, I feel like I'm comfortable enough to really try to dabble into this and not just be gambling and say, hey man, somebody said throw some money onto Dogecoin or whatever, but really try to make a sound investment.
that's a good question. I think first and foremost, we got to trust each other more, because when it comes to computers, Black people are at the forefront. It was a Black person that invented the serial bus. It was a Black person that invented parallel computing. It was a Black person that invented, the modern gaming system, which a lot of this computer technology is based on. And like I said, it was Black people at the forefront of blockchain and Bitcoin. If you look at Kenya, Kenya is known for a system which is called M-Pesa. And M-Pesa, basically, like over in Africa, a lot of people were doing commerce over their phones. They weren't necessarily using cash and things, they were using phones. So people was like, oh, cuz, check this out, cuz. Everybody using their phones, they buying everything with their phone, cuz. We can do this over here in America, cuz. Let's go ahead and knock it out. Then you had Silk Road get built on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, people was moving their weight. Loud Pack came out around the same time. You heard Loud, same time you heard about Bitcoin. Then you had Layer 2, Ethereum and Litecoin. Ethereum was your smart contract cryptocurrency. Litecoin was your fast transacting and real cheap cryptocurrency that came out, so on and so forth. You had Guapcoin. I can't think of the sister's name, but she's from here in Atlanta. But that's a stated known Black cryptocurrency. You got Veritasium by Reggie Middleton, who's been on CNBC, another brother. So, and he's the godfather of decentralized finance, or DeFi. A lot of people don't give him credit, and a lot of people are not going to give us credit in this space. But like I said, we are at the forefront of a lot of the stuff that's going on. I'm an electrical engineer by trade, and I use computers to trade stocks and algorithms and things. I've been doing this for 26 years. 95% of my income comes from stuff like this doing my work for me.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I got a lot of research I got to do now, man. He got me amped up, man. I need to get 95% of my income up too, man. For real.
I have questions.
Go ahead, Rita.
All right. So my number one question is, and I might be asking this question twice, but do I need real money to get into cryptocurrency? Like, how do I, like, if I decided today I want to get into it, how do I do that?
And I got off track, so I apologize. One of the best ways to do it now is, like, let's say if you have a Cash App account. And matter of fact, Cash App, PayPal, and a lot of your banks now have ways to where you can convert fiat currency or your regular currency over to cryptocurrency. Like I said in the beginning, you had to mine it. Then you had Bitcoin ATM machines at gas stations and stuff popped up, and people were converting cash or credit card to purchase Bitcoin that way. But now you have, like I said, PayPal, Cash App, Coinbase, which is a cryptocurrency exchange, which will allow you to connect to your bank to where you can transact and purchase cryptocurrency at your disposal.
I think, and again, we're just talking about this because there's a lot of benefit that can help Black people by getting into the cryptocurrency game. But I want to express to people, for real, do your research. Talk to people that you trust, because it's very easy. Because I'm just now just sticking my toe into the cryptocurrency water, and brothers like Max, some of my other homeboys who've been doing it, I call and they'll be good enough to give me advice. But you can throw your money into something, and it's very easy to lose that money. And it's very easy to make a mistake, or to get into buying from one of these exchanges that are, maybe have crazy fees or whatever. So talk to people who have been in the game, and definitely, if you lose all your money, don't blame the Man Listen Show. We're just talking about how you could possibly make some money and possibly create wealth. So
this is not a recommendation. Yes.
Informational
purposes only.
Yeah, do not blame us. Do not blame us.
But for beginners, if you had a source that you would send a beginner to, where would that be? Somebody who could get like a basic understanding and kind of like Marv says, how can I stick my toe in the water information wise?
Well, I would go to the source like Bitcoin.com and blockchain.com. Those are like the foundational sources, and actually the foundation pages to where it'll give you the white paper or it'll give you the prospectus of Bitcoin. If you go to, I believe it's ethereum.org, and you may as well check on bitcoin.org as well. But both of them will give you the perspectives as to what they are. It'll give you tools and resources in terms of how you can use that blockchain information for yourself if you want to make a blockchain or a cryptocurrency of your own. Another good source is coinmarketcap.com. Again, that's coinmarketcap.com. And that gives you the top coins based on market cap. And another good feature about that website is that it gives you a snapshot in terms of the white paper or prospectus in terms of, okay, what is this coin? And then you can get a little quick rundown as to what it is to help you jumpstart you on your research, I should say.
Because I know a lot of people are running to Robinhood, but I was kind of like reading and learning that that's not the best platform to use when you're trying to get into like, your digital coins.
I'm not gonna try to endorse one particular. Well, I'll throw a couple of them out there, but one, I'm personally not a fan of Robinhood, considering the fact that Robinhood is owned by Citadel, which is a hedge fund. And if you know the roles of a hedge funds go both directions within their trades. And actually, if you really look at Robinhood, now granted, this is just speculation on my part, because I don't have a Robinhood account, so I really can't speak to it. But sometimes when you have situations like this, the hedge fund may delay the trade data from the client fund to maybe sell that gap or whatever to high frequency traders, or maybe even do high frequency tradings themselves to make some money off of them, or even use data from that subject group to make some money off of them. Like for example, Citadel lost a lot of money when everybody ran GameStop and AMC up. They lost a lot of money because the hood ran it up and they had short positions on the other side, basically betting that those assets were going to go down. So I'm not a fan. And another thing, I'm not a fan of actually having cryptocurrencies on traditional brokers anyway. One big fundamental aspect of cryptocurrencies is basically having a wallet or having something that has a private key. There's a saying that if you don't own your private key, you don't own your crypto. And like I said, the main aspect about cryptocurrency is freedom and being your own bank, being in control of your own assets. If you allow Coinbase, which they hold your private key, um, I'm pretty sure Kraken and Gemini do the same. They can jack your crypto. They can say, okay, we're going to hold your crypto for X, Y, Z reason. Now, granted, KuCoin, which is KuCoin.com, which is one of my favorite exchanges, they hold your private key as well. So that's the reason why in the crypto world, you have the exchange, but you have a wallet to where you preferably keep all your coins. And I know that was a long-winded explanation, but hopefully that helped you out.
And what's funny is I heard there's a story about a guy who he bought Bitcoin real early and he lost his key. He lost his private key. It was on some sort of thumb drive and he can't find the thumb drives. And honestly, they say this guy might be like damn near a billionaire based off what he has in cryptocurrency, but he doesn't have the private key. So I couldn't imagine being like that. But it's just like that just reinforces what I was trying to say. That make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure that you talk to people, because it'd be pretty terrible if you put some money in and you hit a lick. I know a lot of people hit a lick on that Dogecoin. They hit a lick. I hope they pull their money out, because when a boy went in on SNL and kind of clowned it, it went all the way back down. So I hope they pull their money out, didn't get greedy. I know a lot of folks are trying to wait for it to go to $1, and it was at 70 cents. Now it's like down to 30. So you don't lose money until you pull it out, but is it going to bounce back? We don't know. But that's why I just want to emphasize, know what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Or make sure you putting in money that you can afford to lose. Like if you go to the casino or to the strip club and you say, I'm gonna trick off $100, put that into the crypto game before you really start putting a lot of stuff up into it. You know what I'm saying? Come on, we know we talking.
Wait a minute. How'd you go from casino and cryptocurrency to the strip club? You're not getting none of that strip club money back. That's not the same thing.
You might not get the money back, but anyway.
Well, school me in, lab. What do you get?
So you talked about Coinbase a couple of times. You talking about black ownership. In the new DJ Khaled song with Jay and Nas says something Coinbase cryptocurrency Scarface or something. So does he have like an ownership stake in Coinbase or something? Or
Yeah, Nas was one of the seed investors in the Coinbase, so he got in real early.
And Coinbase coming out with their own coin too?
Say that again.
Is Coinbase coming out with their own coin, or
it's possible. I really don't follow them too much, because one of the things, unfortunately, that's hampering the United States or any exchange that's set up in the United States, in my opinion, of course, is Dodd-Frank Act 2010. Dodd-Frank, at least from a trading aspect, keeps you from hedging your trades. Like, for example, in Forex, let's say I want to trade the dollar versus the European euro. I only can have a single directional trade on that pair. I can't have a long and a short trade. I can't have a trade where I'm saying I'm going up and a trade saying I'm going to go down at the same time. Also, I can't have foreign margin accounts based on the Dodd-Frank Act. So that's another benefit of cryptocurrency too. Dodd-Frank started hating on us, saying, we can't do X, Y, Z. Cuz was like, all right, cuz, let's set up shop over in the Cayman Islands, San Marino, Liechtenstein, Malta, and come up with these crypto exchanges and keep them decentralized, like Binance, which is the largest crypto exchange in the world. Homie, they tried to hate on him in China. Cuz was like, all right, then I'll kick it over here to Malta, set up shop on you. Now what you gonna do? Malta was like, we'll show you some love over here. Bring that money over here and let's get things cracking. So,
all right,
that's cool. See, mainly the main thing y'all need to understand is crypto ain't for scary folks. The future is not for scary people. Everything is going to be automated. Yeah. So it's just going to be a lot of folks around here chilling. So you better be creative and get into this thing early. But anyway, let me cool down, let my man holler.
Nah, it's all good. But man, we probably could go forever, man. I don't want to overwhelm people, man. But we're probably going to have you back on the show, man, and talk about money, because I know you got – C and I was talking to you, before the show, man, about a few months ago. You was blowing our mind with all the stuff that you were talking about, investing in the ways that Black people can make money. And we're talking about closing the wealth gap, because that's really what's keeping us back, keeping us down as Black people. It's the wealth gap. And the dominant society has found a way to always put a trick bag in, whether it's through terrorism, whether it's through laws, whether it's through dirty tricks. They've always done something to try to take our wealth away from us. So if this is a way for us to do that and to, grow our wealth, to leave a legacy for our family, I want people to have some exposure to it so that they can, get into the game, put in what you can stand to possibly lose. But if you win, you can win big, and then be smart with it. So Max, tell people where they can find you, man. I know you got your radio show, you got your website. Tell people where they can find you.
Man, y'all can catch up with me at johnsonassetgroup.com, primarily johnsonassetgroup.com. You can also catch me at financeyourmind.com. That's the stock tutorial class. You can catch me on all your social media platforms, be it Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, at DJ Mad Money Max. That's at DJ Mad Money Max. And
that $ Max, or is that money? Is it spelled out?
That's money spelled out. But I'm glad you brought that up, because anywhere else it is DJ Mad $Max, and that stands for Mad Money Max, not Mad Funny, not Honey, Mad Money, 24/7.
Gotcha. Yes, indeed. All right, my brother, man. Listen, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I think people got a little bit of a better understanding. At least they have a base to where they know where to go and look to try to get more info. And then we'll definitely have you back on, man. Appreciate you.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, sir.
I think, well, anyway, my grandfather always talks about the 3 tenets of power. The 3 tenets of power is resource, money, communications, and defense. We've always had money, we've always had communications, but we fell off on that defense. And I know that's another conversation, but that's all I needed to say.
Hey, I'm all about that Second Amendment for sure.
My man.
With that being said, hey, make sure y'all follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Man Listen Show. Make sure you share the show. Make sure you subscribe to us on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Share the show and let everybody know about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Get that crypto.